Hi, this is Greg with Lionquestfitness. If you hear sounds on the rooftop, we're getting a little bit of rain and hitting that tin roof, but that's just background noise. Now, let's talk about HR Funk's Combat Magnum Challenge. Now, maybe that was a little bit of clickbait. Now, HR and I, we correspond behind the scenes sometimes, and he's one of my YouTube friends, just like guys like Dan the Wolfman, or Jason the Crazy Scotsman, or Santee from Arizona Ghost Riders, or Mark from Garage Guy 879. You know, we have, sometimes we'll coordinate on videos or ask questions behind the scenes, or sometimes we send each other things. And yeah, and there's other creators I network with like that. And there's also other people who aren't creators that I network like that. Many of the people who watch this channel. But anyway, HR was doing a review on a Combat Magnum, a Model 19 nickel-plated, beautiful gun. And I made the comment that I was going to have to get old Chief Rolling Thunder out and put it through its paces. And HR said, well, make sure you film some of it. So here we are. He said there's something special about a Combat Magnum. And you know something? I have to agree. So how are we going to put the gun through its paces today? Well, since I mentioned Dan the Wolfman, I'm going to do part of his revolver challenge course. And what I'll do, I'll show the video of me shooting, and then I'll explain how I did. And the first stage, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually 7 stages, but I can't do the first 2 at 2 and 3 yards because it's not safe to shoot the berm that I shoot at that close. But the first one, step left, 3 shots, 3 seconds, 5 yards. And when I say 3 seconds, you're supposed to do it within 3 seconds. Now, I must make a caveat because this time of year, I often wear shorts and a t-shirt. And I wanted to do it as close to how I actually carry this time of year. You're going to get treated to my white hairless legs. Now, needless to say, during summertime when I'm pushing a lawnmower, I'm wearing shorts, and that's pretty much how I tan. But pushing a lawnmower, you don't get a lot of tan on your legs. The other thing is, thanks to one of my grandfathers who had a smattering of Native American, don't have a lot of hair on my legs or other parts of my body. So don't be shocked by that. All right, let's watch that stage of shooting. 5 yards, step left, 3 shots, and to be done within 3 seconds. Listen, no trouble. That stage was fairly easy. Now, one thing I was running into was the draw. It's a lot easier having a cover garment to sweep and then reach down than it is to have to pull up and reach down. And Dan wanted you to not use both hands when you did that, especially in the closer ranges. But I was able to get it done in 2.62 seconds, and that is an approximation because I had to go back and look at the film frame by frame. And the moment my hand dropped is when it started. As soon as the last shot was fired, that's when it was counted. So now, let's go to the next stage. And this one is side step right. And Mozambique drill, 2 to the body, 1 to the head. And you're supposed to be able to do this within 3.5 seconds. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, due to my age, and I am 64, soon to be 65, but if you're 62 or older, on each qualification round, added to that time, you can add a 0.25 seconds to your time. All right, so let's go to stage 4. No trouble. All right, on that stage, this is where I ran into some issues about the draw, where I lost time having to pull the shirt up with one hand and draw the firearm. And I wound up losing time. In other words, even with the mulligan, the 0.25 mulligan, it still cost me an extra 0.23 seconds to finish that qualification. So I didn't do that within time, even with the mulligan. All right, so let's go on to the next stage. And this is going to be what would, on Dan's chart, would be stage 5. But it's 7 yards. You're going to shoot 5 shots in 5 seconds. Now, the time is all about the 5 shots in 5 seconds. But then you're going to kneel behind cover, and that's not included in the time, and you're going to reload and go back on the target. So let's take a look at that one. Now, on that stage, I had an issue on my last shot, on the 5th shot. I hit a hard primer. The round did not go off, so I had to cycle to the 6th round, which did. All right. However, I was able to do it within time. I did it in 5.08 seconds, and the idea was to do it in 5 seconds, unless you're an old guy like me and you got an extra 0.25 seconds. So 5.08, for my age, I was within the qualification. So now let's go to something that's relatively easy, and that's 10 yards, 3 rounds, and 5 seconds.
Get here, put that one a little high.
All right, no problem with that stage. I got it in 4 seconds, 4.39 seconds, so I didn't need my mulligan there. So now the last stage was 15 yards, 3 rounds in 6 seconds. As you can see, at 15 yards, I shot a little bit better than I did at 10 yards. I took a little more time. However, I took a little bit too much time, and I was 0.42 of a second, almost a full second too slow on that qualification round. Now, this is, I did this earlier in the week. This was the results the first time I tried it, and I didn't really check the times. I know some of them, once again, because of drawing from underneath a shirt, it was a little bit slower, and I had to readjust the sights on the gun because I was shooting too far to my left. And this was the final And as for the scoring, it's not an IPSC target, so I couldn't really tell you exactly how it was scored. But for self-defense purposes, I think most of the shots landed where they needed to go. And this is Greg with Lionquestfitness. Give you another look at old Chief Rolling Thunder here.